Hi, thank you for choosing Integration Partners Data Managed Services product. Today we're going to spend a little bit of time reviewing the dashboard section of the user interface. So after you're logged in, if you go to the left-hand side of the screen and you click on the dashboard portion of the tree, that'll bring up your default dashboard and you'll be able to see this little black menu button underneath. If you click this, it will bring up a kind of sidebar panel in which you can see all of the dashboards that are currently available inside of your service. So we have several dashboards that are provided as part of the service, and these are the ones we're going to spend some time reviewing today. There is a specific role for your users called the dashboard management role. By default, it is not enabled for anyone. If you wish to create your own dashboards or you have a subset of your users that want to be able to create dashboards, either contact your service delivery manager or your onboarding project manager and tell them the users' names that you would like to have this role, and it will be added. So if you don't have it, by default, all of these will be read-only. And once you have it, you'll be able to create your own using some of the training you have here in addition to what you're listening to now. So let's spend some time actually walking through some of these dashboards. You can see that there are 4 of them. We're going to go ahead and look at the device technical dashboard first. This is meant to be an engineering overview of how your environment is looking under the service. We have number of devices, what they currently are, where they currently are at the very top. We have a very specific look at each individual device, red, yellow, green kind of overview. At any point in time, if you'd like more information about it, you can actually click and drill down into it, in this case open it in a new tab, and you'll be able to see specifically where the alarms are getting generated, what they are, and a lot more information about what's going on with that particular asset. And then from here you have a map overview. This can be zoomed in or zoomed out depending on what your needs are, and it will give you a global overview of where your assets are by location and what the current state of those are. We have several different widgets measuring data sources that give you graphical overviews of what is currently going on in the environment. You can see things from pie charts, line charts, and there's some things we can do to manipulate these to be able to get more data. First thing we can do is modify the time range we're looking at. By default, it's the last 24 hours. However, if you want to use one of the predefined time ranges, you can click the drop-down box and set this for the last 8 hours. Click Save, and you'll notice that now all of our graphs readjust globally for that time frame. To turn it off, you can go back, click the default time range, and click Save. An important thing to note is that when you do configure a non-standard, as it may be, time frame, you'll notice that this button turns blue. If for some reason your data doesn't look the way it's supposed to, the very first thing you should probably check is to make sure that you didn't set a time range already and then forget about it. So if it is blue and you want it back to defaults, go ahead and click the radio button, click Save. The blueness goes away under time range and you'll be able to see all of your defaults. Another way to manipulate just an individual widget is to zoom in. You can do this simply by clicking and dragging inside the widget. You will notice that this only set this for this individual part of the dashboard that we're looking at. If we wish to apply that across everything, we click it. You'll notice that all of the time frames have now been adjusted across all of the dashboard elements. You'll also notice that our time range up here turned blue again to let us know we have a custom time range. So to get rid of that, we can click it again here, or go back up to the time range button and set it to what we want there. As we are looking at pie charts, you can do the same thing. If there's information here, in this particular case, that is skewing the data, you can click on that and it'll actually remove that or filter it from your view. So in this case, you can continue doing this to get the information you want. When you're done looking at it, you can click the reset button and it will return everything to normal. So there are things from your alerts that are available here. If you want to create your own custom dashboards, we're not going to address that in this particular session, but there's another one available for how to create dashboards. You can hop over there. So if you have the dashboard management role, that'll give you a lot of insight for how to create your own custom dashboards. So from here, we can hop out, click on Menu, and hop down to our management dashboard. Our management dashboard is meant to be a very high-level overview. So we can see some of the same information we had before, where we have the number of elements, the current condition, Again, you have complete ability to zoom in, zoom out on this individual element. And then from here, we actually look at the network heuristically. So at this point, we're looking at everything to determine red, yellow, and green. We have the actual breakout over here for how many routers, how many switches, how many different devices that we actually do have under management. Some service levels as they're associated with some web services that we might manage. You may or may not have that particular service purchased. That's okay. And just some other information about the overall status of our environment at a high level. We had mentioned that we have web services. If you don't have it, you probably won't see this dashboard. But again, there's some very specific breakdowns about the state of they're in, how many we actually have, what their availability is, and here a very specific error code that we've received back for why we can't get in touch with a web service. And very similar to device counts, consistency-wise, we have the alerts that are generated. So again, these are the dashboards that are provided with your service. Please feel free to talk to either your service delivery manager or your onboarding project manager if you need a little bit more detail about what's going on here or your ability to go ahead and create new dashboards. Thank you so much for listening.